All right, let's talk about something we've all probably seen happen. You're subscribed to a channel you love, and then, poof, one day it's just gone. Today we're going to peel back the curtain and get past the official reasons to find out what's really going on when YouTube deletes a channel.
It's so frustrating, right? One minute you're watching a creator, the next, their channel is wiped from the platform. And the official reason, if you ever get one, is usually super vague. So what's really happening behind the scenes? Well, to figure that out, we first have to look at the story YouTube wants you to believe.
So first things first, we got to get into the official story. YouTube has this very carefully put together set of rules that they show to everyone, creators, advertisers, even governments. This is the public-facing narrative they've built.
Now, everything on this list probably looks pretty familiar. I mean, these are the basics, right? Rules against hate speech, harassment, copyright strikes, spam. You know the drill. See, this whole official playbook, it's designed to make the platform feel safe, structured, and responsible. It's all about making everyone feel reassured.
But here's the thing, that's only half the story. And this, right here, is where it gets really interesting. Because that official rulebook, while not exactly wrong, leaves out the biggest and most important part of the whole equation.
Okay, so here's the big secret, the thing you have to understand to make sense of any of this. YouTube's big decisions, they're not really about high-minded principles like free speech. They're not even just about enforcing their own rules. It all comes down to cold, hard business math. It is all about risk.
And this slide just lays it all out perfectly. We love to think of YouTube as this open public square, a digital town hall where any idea can be discussed. But that's a myth. The reality is that YouTube is a massive, for-profit company, and it doesn't answer to some ideal of free expression. It answers to its investors, its advertisers, and governments around the world.
And this is the rule that really matters. This is the key. Every single channel, every video is sitting on this invisible scale inside YouTube. And the company is always asking one question. Is the value we get from this content worth the business risk it creates? The second that scale tips and the risk outweighs the reward, boom, it's gone.
So what kind of risk are we even talking about here? Well, it mainly breaks down into 4 areas. You've got legal risk. That's the big one. We're talking lawsuits and government fines. Then there's economic risk, which is basically the fear of losing advertisers. After that comes political risk from angry governments. And finally, reputational risk. Bad PR. These are the real forces shaping what stays and what goes.
So let's dig into who's actually pulling the strings here. The 2 groups that YouTube is most afraid of upsetting. The advertisers who pay the bills, and the governments who make the laws. To really feel the pressure they're under, you just have to look at their business model. It's actually super simple when you break it down. Creators make videos that grab our attention, we, the users, give them our watch time, and then brands pay YouTube a ton of money to put their ads in front of our eyeballs. That's it. It's an entire economy built on ads. And that right there, that's the whole game. It means that if a channel starts to feel a little too controversial, a little too brand unsafe, and advertisers start getting nervous, its risk score goes through the roof. YouTube will step in to protect its income. It's not about the content being illegal, it's about it being bad for business.
And then you've got the governments. This is a huge one. YouTube is a global company, which means it has to deal with a crazy patchwork of laws. To avoid getting hit with massive fines or even blocked entirely in places like Europe or India, they have to play ball. That means taking down content to keep local regulators happy, whether the takedown request is truly valid or not.
Okay, so we've talked about the big picture, the business pressures, the politics. But how does all that corporate stuff actually lead to a channel just vanishing overnight? This is where you really see the massive gap between the public rules and how things actually work. This is something most people don't get. A channel can get the axe not because of one bad video, but because the whole thing starts to look like a risk signal to the system. Maybe it's the topics they cover,
Or maybe it gets a ton of user reports. Heck, even growing too fast can sometimes trigger these automated flags. And this explains something you hear creators say all the time. They're completely blindsided. Their channel gets deleted, and they swear they had 0 community guideline strikes. And they're probably telling the truth. It's because the decision wasn't based on that public 3-strike system. It was based on a secret internal risk score that none of us, not even the creator, ever gets to see.
And it doesn't stop there. You've got these other kind of hidden ways channels get taken down. Groups of people can organize to mass report a channel, which sends up a huge red flag to the system. The copyright and trademark systems can be abused by people filing fake claims, and sometimes the algorithm just gets it wrong.
Okay, get ready for this number because it is wild. It's estimated that over 80%, maybe even more, of all enforcement decisions on YouTube are made by algorithms, not people. The platform is almost entirely run by automated systems trying to predict risk.
So that leads to the million-dollar question, right? If the system is so automated, what happens when the bots get it wrong? An error in the code doesn't just affect one video. It can cause thousands of channels to get unfairly deleted, all without a single human being looking at it. The potential for error at that scale is just massive.
All right, let's wrap this up and put a fine point on it. When you look at all these pieces together, what is this whole enforcement system really designed for?
So here it is, the real list, the stuff you don't usually hear. A channel gets terminated not just for breaking a rule, but when it becomes a business liability. When the lawyers get worried, when the advertisers get spooked, when an AI flags a weird pattern, or when a mob decides to abuse the report button, or when a government tells them to.
So when you boil it all down, the system isn't really about right or wrong. It's not about being a fair judge of content. Its number one job, its true purpose, is to protect the business of YouTube. It's a corporate defense system, not a moral one.
So I'll leave you with this thought. The next time you see a channel disappear, don't just ask yourself, I wonder what rule they broke. Instead, ask, I wonder what invisible risk they triggered. Knowing the real rules of the game, it changes how you see everything. Thanks for joining this explainer.